from Mama's Geeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Hey everyone, I'm really excited to tell you that I have an amazing interview for you guys today. I got to chat with the Julia Jones, super talented. She plays Agent Munez in Think Like a Dog, which is coming to digital on-demand Blu-ray and DVD on June 9th. It is a movie that you don't want to miss. I have lots and lots of coverage coming up for that movie. Also, you can check out my review at mamasgeeky.com. But Julia is fantastic. She was such a delight to talk to. Absolutely adore her. She's also been in things like, I don't know, some things you might have heard of, like Westworld, Twilight, The Mandalorian. Yeah. She's pretty amazing, and she's been in a lot of amazing things. So I hope you really enjoy my interview with her. And don't forget, Think Like a Dog is out on June 9th. I wanted to ask you, so how did you go about getting the role for Think Like a Dog?
I made a tape thinking, like, for fun, thinking there's no way that this is going to come to me because, I don't know, it was a pretty broad comedy, which I hadn't done before. And I loved it. I just thought I'll have some fun and do this, and I didn't expect to hear anything about it. And then I got a call, and they asked me to come to the table read. I was really surprised about. And so I went to the table read, and the whole cast was there, and it was just a really great, there was great chemistry, and it was a lot of fun, and they basically, you know, while I was there, were just like, we're really excited to have you, blah, blah, blah. So it's great. I guess I'm going to go to China now.
Yeah. So the movie, actually, I was talking with Gil yesterday, and he said they filmed two different endings for the movie. Did you obviously were part of that, and you knew that. Do you have a preference on the ending? Do you like the ending they went with, or would you have rather seen them get divorced?
You know what? I do have a feeling about this now, and some of it has to do with, you know, the state of the world, I guess. But the ending that they went with, I'm happy that they went with it, given everything that's happening, because it is such a touching, warm, heartfelt, positive story, and I just think that's what we need right now.
Yeah, I agree. It was a great ending. I know I watched it with my kids, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to tell them if they end up getting divorced. It's going to be really dark.
Exactly, right? That would have been terrible.
I know.
It's very difficult now. It's like we're more so than in normal times.
I know. Well, that's true. I know we're sitting at home running out of things to watch, and we got the screener for this, and I mean, we've probably watched it 15 times. My kids absolutely love it.
That's great. Yeah, it's a really fun, nice movie for these times.
So do you have any pets of your own?
I don't. I grew up with big dogs, and I actually this was one of the things in the script originally that attracted it to me. This connection that Oliver, the 12-year-old boy, has with his dog. I grew up with a dog named Greta that I was extremely close to, and I really understood that the significance and the weight of that for a young child, and I loved that about the script.
Yeah, that's a great part of it. And so, if you can think of anything you think Greta would have said to you, what do you think it would be?
She was a giant schnauzer, which was like they were very protective guard dogs, and she was just like extremely comforting. I think she was always just sort of like, everything's gonna be okay, kind of like Henry in the movie, to be honest. I feel like her character wasn't quite as like upbeat as Henry is. She was sort of like chill and mellow, except for when she was, you know, guarding. Right.
So if you have any projects coming up, I'm just curious, how is it like to prepare for a project when you're in quarantine? I mean, it's got to be kind of crazy.
You know, I'm kind of just starting to experience that right now, and it's the best thing in a way, because you're in this bubble, and it feels, I like generally love to sort of escape into worlds and into characters and into scripts, but there's something really, really nice about being able to do that in these in these times. It almost feels like, normal life again, because when you're prepping something or working on something, you kind of have to compartmentalize from what's going on in your personal life and out in the outside world. And so that's been, I appreciate it even more now.
So what was it like working with dogs on set? Because I know animals are unpredictable, so they say. So was there anything like really bloopery that happened?
Yeah, the thing is, the dogs are the most professional people on set. I mean, first of all, there's a couple of them, so it's sort of like working with very small children. In that way, they are rotated in and out. They look the same, and so they don't have to be present and like pay attention for a 12-hour day. They kind of will come in for 3 hours and then get rotated out. But they are so disciplined, and we had these amazing people who are looking after them and training them and helping get the sort of performances out of them that we needed. And just like working with an actor, you never knew exactly what they were going to do. Like their faces are really expressive, and their body language and the tricks that they would do, you didn't know what they were going to do. If it said, he does a trick or something, and then it becomes like a backflip or something, you are legitimately shocked and delighted. So it's easy. It was easy to work with the dogs. I mean, I didn't work with them as much as a lot of other people, but
yeah.
I really, it was really like friendly, kind of light, sweet experience to work with them.
Is there any day in particular on set that really stands out as maybe one of your favorites, or something funny happened?
I mean, the days that we filmed in Beijing were definitely stand out as just being just such an adventure. I loved that part of it, and we had, our core crew came, and we used a lot of people who were local, and it was such a special experience to see how another culture deals with filmmaking in a really different way, and to learn from that, and to deal with the challenge of kind of getting used to that was fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Gil said something similar about that too. So just how amazing it was to see all the locals out there, and it's great.
They were like, I remember, like they were so enthusiastic and wanting to also, I think, learn how we did things, and it was really collaborative. Like, the energy on this was just extremely positive. I think you can tell when you watch the film.
Yeah, it gives a good like happy vibe. Like, even the bad guy, it's like it's a nice heartwarming movie.
It's true, even with the bad guy.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like filming too. Everybody, it was just like friends coming together to make something, which is my favorite thing.
Oh, that's so great. When did you realize that you wanted to act? Like, what turned you to acting?
I was doing a play when I was in second grade. I was playing Michael Darling in Peter Pan, and I had a moment on stage where I thought, this is what I want to do with my life. And then it was like this whole long process to kind of get back to that. And I went to college, and I majored not in theater, and I modeled and did other things. But I always knew from a young age that this is what I wanted to do.
Oh, that's like my daughter. She's going to be 9, and all she talks about is how she wants to be an actress. So do you have any advice for her or other young kids who this is what they want to do?
Absolutely. I think that wanting to do it is like the most important thing, but you have to kind of know that it's a ton of work. And so my advice would be to, if you want to do it, do it. That's advice I got early on. Like, if this is something you want to do, then do it. And what that means is acting classes, doing plays in your community, at your school, wherever you are. Just start doing it, and you'll find out if it's really if it's really what you want to do, because you have to really, really love it in order for it to like make sense.
I know you've been a part of TV series. Of course, you were on Goliath and Westworld and The Mandalorian. But how does a television set compare to a movie set?
Well, they're all extremely different. So, I mean, you just mentioned Goliath, Mandalorian, and Westworld. Those three sets are all television, but they are all totally different. I mean, the whole process with film tends to be a little bit different than with television, mostly because it is a shorter period of time for the most part. So you have a little more time to prepare, to prep, and then you have less time to film. Whereas with television, I find that you're kind of constantly learning as you go a little bit more, and you don't know what's going to happen next. Often you don't get all of the scripts before you start filming. On Westworld, for example, I never saw a full script the entire time.
Oh, wow.
You just get, your pages. So there's a lot more, sort of improvising in a way with television, which is just a different way to work, which I've come to really love. But I started doing films, and when I first started to do television, it was a little bit like, wait a minute, I don't know, who am I? How come I can't have more information? Like, what's going to happen to her? Blah, 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 blah. And then you just chill out and enjoy discovering it with everybody else.
Gotcha. That's cool. Yeah, I absolutely love Westworld. I thought you were phenomenal, of course.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was one of my favorite experiences.
One last burning question. Is Josh as super adorable as he is in person? Because he's so cute.
Yeah, he's like inhumanly adorable. I mean, there was a lot of adorableness on that, actually, now that I think about it. Like, maybe this is the most adorable thing I've ever experienced. Between Gabriel, who plays Oliver, and Josh, and the dog, and Megan.
I know.
It's a very adorable set.
All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was nice to talk to you.
Have a good day.